Hello everybody, welcome to RV Repairs with Ron. Today we're going to be talking about solar controllers and the importance of them being used inside RVs. So this happens to be a Samlex system, and I'll flip this around and kind of show you some different voltages and stuff like that. But let's talk about solar panels first and kind of how they work. So when it comes to solar panels, what happens is sunlight strikes what's called a PV cell and creates energy to charge. Now, most of our solar panels, not all, a lot of them can range in different voltages, but a lot of the solar panels we use are going to be approximately 20 volts is what they're going to supply. And it's super important to understand that we can't charge most of our 12 volt systems that we use in RVs with 20 volts. It will end up damaging our batteries and damaging our systems in general. So we need to send our voltage through what's called a solar controller. And this happens to be a Samlex one. Now, when it comes to these, basically we're reducing the voltage to an acceptable charging voltage. Now, when it comes to charging voltages, we have a couple different options. And most of your solar controllers will have these options now, not all. But these options will be broken down into, in essence, lead acid. So this one says SLA and AGM, absorbed glass mat, or lithium. And the big reason for the two differences in charging voltage is that because our lithium batteries have very low resistance in them, to get them fully charged, we use a higher voltage to do that compared to our lead acid and our AGM. So you can kind of see here, if we take a look at our absorb and float charge, they're going to be a little bit lower than they are when it comes to our lithium. So our 14 volts in our absorb for our lead acid, and 14.5 or 14.4 when it comes to our lithium because of that low resistance within the battery. Now, this system here is capable of doing 12 or 24 volt charging. When it comes to these charts here, if you were on the 24 volt system, you would just multiply the voltages times 2 if you were doing that, but most of ours are going to be 12 volts. So the point of this controller is to reduce those to an appropriate voltage. Now, again, those panels can range around 20 volts. But can be different voltages depending on applications and stuff like that. But I want to make sure I do point out over here on the side, this is where our panel and also our batteries are going to connect. It is important to ensure that we're doing these on the correct side. So if you take a look here, PV stands for photovoltaic. That's referencing the panel itself. And there will be a positive and a negative there. You'll just make sure you attach your panel to those two. And then on the bottom side of this, you're going to have your battery positive and battery negative. That's where you're going to attach your battery post to. Now, when it comes to this side, you want to also make sure you're protecting your battery. There should be a fuse in line on the positive side of this to make sure that we're not going to burn up the wiring or anything like that. So you want to make sure you protect that. And that's going to be your basic overview of why a solar controller is important, because we don't want to, in essence, destroy batteries or systems with inside our 12 volt RV system. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Bye now.